welcome back to my channel. It has been a while and I apologise for that. It has been the summer holidays here in the UK and so it's been very hectic with the boys. If you're new here, my name is Nicola and I'm the maker behind Mrs S Craft Corner. And Finn is with me today. He's getting all excited. Go on bed. I think he's getting excited because he can hear me talking, so he thinks there must be somebody here. But, we are just about back at home now, which is exciting. There's still a fair few jobs that need doing, but we're making the best of it. So I will start with what I am wearing, and some of you, if you've watched before, may remember this as being the flax that I was going to take down because it was too small, and I unravelled it and I have reknit it. I'll just stand up so it's a much more modest length. And I changed the design that I'd originally done on the sleeve. It was like a cabled crisscross pattern on the sleeve, but I just did some little eyelet details for the increases on the raglan, and I didn't put in the garterage panel, and obviously I've only done it as short sleeve. It was a little while ago now that I finished this, but this was made with Truly Yarns DK, I believe superwash, so 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and Autumn Spice I believe is the colourway. They are over on Etsy and they have some really lovely colours over there. I can't remember what size needle I used. Maybe 4.5 or 5, just so that it's really drapey. Yeah, lovely little knitted t-shirt. I'm very happy with it. Yeah, just did a 2x2 rib on the bottom, but on the neckline I believe, yeah, it's a 1x1 twisted rib on the neckline and the sleeves, but I did a 2x2 rib for the hem on the body. Yeah, it was really nice, simple knit. It was really quick. I don't know how, maybe a week or two that it took me to make, so not long. Yeah. So that is this one. So going on to my next finished object, which is the only other finished object that I have. They are these. So they're the faux sport sock that I did, with the main colour being, I want to say Neon Storm from Attic Spin Dye. It's absolutely beautiful. And then for the contrast colour for the stripes, it's, I can't remember the colour name, but it was from Snuggly Stars yarn. Yeah, so I finished those. I'm very excited to try and wait to wear them. I've had to wait a while because obviously it's been a fair time since the last podcast and they were finished not long after the last one. So yeah, I've been waiting a while. So with my socks, I cast on 64 stitches and I did a 2x2 rib, and that was on 9-inch circulars, 2.25. And so then I did, I think it was 3 rounds before the first stripe, and I did 4 4 rounds per stripe and 3 rounds in between before I then went back onto the main colour. And I can't remember total, I normally do about 50 total for the leg. And then just a slip stitch heel flap with the gusset decreases. These I did the ergonomic toes. Can you see if I hold them up? How this one is much more steep than on the outside of the toe. But yeah, really happy with those. I have worn them once, then I washed them and kept them to the side to show again because I didn't want them to be too worn before showing them. But yeah, really like that toe. It was a little experiment and I think that is how I will do my toes in future. Yeah, so that is this one. So to move on from this one, I then think Andrea Mowry had her birthday sale on patterns, and so I bought the DRK Everyday Socks pattern, and so I've cast that on with the neon colour from Snuggly Stars. I've cast that on and it is toe up. I don't normally do toe up, so I've left the toe as in the pattern, but I think next time I'll try and do the ergonomic toe from the toe up. And it's like an all over 2x2 rib, so it looks really tiny but it does stretch out. And I am curious because on the pattern I think it's only 60 stitches she tells you to go up to for my size, and normally I'm 64, so we'll see how this fits. I'm wondering with it being ribbon if it will stretch a bit more. Yeah, it should stretch a bit more than just a normal stockinette one. But I didn't get very, this was cast on quite a while ago, but I stopped because after we came back from Devon, which I'll talk about later on, but after we came back I couldn't find my tape measure, and on my tape measure I've marked how big my feet are and when I normally need to start the toe from the heel. But yeah, so I lost my tape measure, so I couldn't measure how long, because she obviously tells you to knit until a certain point shorter than the length of your foot. I didn't have one, and so I got scared that I was getting close. I don't think I am that close, but yeah. And so I will do the 2x2 rib all the way up, and I will do a few stripes in this one, so it will be like the last socks I did but alternated in this one fully ribbed. But yeah, 2.25mm needles. Obviously with it being toe up I did use my Addy 2.25 32-inch cable needle for doing the magic cast on, but yeah, then switched to my 9-inch circulars. So yeah, that's as much as I've got done on there, and obviously marking every 10 rows so that when I do the next one they can be the same length. Yeah, so that is the first WIP. There's quite a few WIPs. Sorry if today is a bit longer, but yeah, you don't have to watch it all in one go. So that is that one. With us being on socks, I'll keep to the socks. So this one is the Bell's Library ones that I were doing in the Will the Wisp sock pattern, and I finished the first one. Oh my goodness, my hair's everywhere. So I finished the first one. Yeah, so this is Bell's Library sock from Biff Sugar Yarns, and then that's the lace pattern down the front, which runs all the way down, and then the toe, which again is the ergonomic toe. I'm not sure it shows up too well, but yeah. So the contrast colour is a red colour that I got in like a sister set of a red and a green for Christmas one year from Blue Fern Yarns. Is that one. So I finished the first sock, and I have just last night finished the cuff on my second, and oh yeah, I've done a pop of colour on the top where I did 2 rounds of the 2x2 rib, change to the main colour, knit 1 round and then go back to the 2x2 rib, so the cuff is a total of 20 rounds on the 9-inch circular. Yeah, so I'm just about to start the patterning on the foot. This is how much of the main colour I have left, because I did use this in a cowl beforehand. And then that's the contrast colour. Yeah. And I only stopped because I couldn't be bothered to get up and find my stitch markers because of the lace pattern. You've got to mark in between. It's like either side of the stitch, the lace pattern, so you know. So it's easy to keep track of, basically. Yeah, that is those ones. Oh my goodness. So, final pair of socks that I have on the go, which I only allow myself to cast on because it is Strictly season, and I've basically watched Strictly since it first came out. I think worked it out, I was probably about 12 when the first series aired, but I did buy the yarn from Wool is the Answer, the Cha Cha Cha. So that is it all caked up. Cha Cha Cha, and I did go for sparkle because they are Strictly socks, so you've got to have sparkly, and I went with the contrast colour of the blue one. But how Strictly are those? They're amazing, aren't they? And so obviously it's not obvious, is it? I cast on and did the cuff before the launch show, just so that when the show's on I can just be knitting round and round. And I decided I've not knitted any socks on my DPNs for a long while, so I thought, just to change things up a bit, I would do them on DPNs this time. Yeah, but I don't know if my gauge is a bit looser on DPNs than normal. Yeah, look. So, can you see the difference? It's like the cuff at the back's just a little bit wider. So it might just be the cuffs because the leg seems to be the same. So we'll see. I might decrease down to 60 stitches because I did cast on 64 for the foot, just make them a bit tighter around the foot to hopefully keep them up. But yeah, so I did the pop of colour at the top and the 2 rounds with the blue, and then 20 rounds total for the cuff, and then I'm just knitting round and round, which I do actually, I need to get my stitch markers out and to count them for, so that I make the second sock the same. Now, how lovely is that? It's not. So yeah, the DPNs are 2.25 as well, and I think they're the Knit Pro Zing ones. Yeah. And then I did, because I was watching Wool is the Answer, and they were saying that from Pickle Lily, they have done some Strictly sock tubs, and so I had to get a Strictly sock tub. I got the purple one. Look, how lovely is that? It's perfect size for it, and I love the fact, so it's got poppers on the side, so you can feed your yarn through there and popper it closed to hold it so the yarn stays in place and feeds it through, but then it's not stuck in the bag. You can just unpopper it when you need to. But yeah, I don't know if she's still got some of those on her shop. I can't remember now. I think it was through Etsy that I bought those. The bag, not the Wool is the Answer. The Wool is the Answer have their own website. But yeah, so that's that one. I'm looking forward to doing a bit more of that on Saturday and Sunday this weekend. That is that one. I will just very quickly show you, because this has been shown an awful lot, but I finished, and I can't remember, it's been that long I can't remember if I'd showed it last time, but I finished the first sleeve on my stone crop. Just actually it's this way around, that's the back. Yeah, so the first one is finished. I think I did the cuff length different to the pattern. I think I got to the end of the pattern repeat on the sleeve, and rather than starting again I just did the cuff a bit longer. And yeah, so the sleeve feels a little bit tight on my arm, but because it's all superwash merino, I'm hoping that it will block out a bit and it's really soft, so I can just wear it as a top on its own without needing to have anything underneath it. And yeah, I've just, oh, there's a thingy missing. I have just, I don't know where that's gone, picked up the second arm, and I've done like just 2 of the, so it's like from here. So I've done my first decrease. Yeah. So in theory it should work up really quickly, because I've already worked out where all the decreases need to be on this one. I just need to copy it, and I've marked each decrease on this arm, and so each time I do a decrease on my right arm I'll just move the stitch marker over so that I know that I've done them the same length and done the decreases in the same place. And then it's just the body, and I've done the arms first just so that I know whatever yarn's left after doing the arms I can just keep going until it's all gone if I want to, rather than it being, because I think Andrea likes hers quite cropped, and I don't think this would be one that I would wear over a dress, so I think I want it a bit longer if I can possibly eke that out. But yeah, the sea glass colour from Somerset Yarns, and the really dark blue from Filcolana Alvetta, and they're both fingering 4-ply yarns. I think it's the 3rd size that I am knitting on that one. But yeah, I've not really done a lot on there, and you'll see in a minute I preferred more mindless ones that I've not had to concentrate on, just because there's been, like, I'll be spending the day sorting stuff out in the house that I then don't want to concentrate in the evening. I prefer something that's just nice and mindless. But yeah, so that is that one. Slowly plugging away, it will get done. But yes. Right, so now there's 4 blankets that I'm going to be showing you. One of them you won't have seen before because it was here at home, and it's just like a scrappy DK crochet blanket, but now that I'm at home I can actually show it to you. Yeah, so, and it's getting quite big. I have had this going for a couple of years now, but it's like just a corner to corner blanket. So I don't know, can you see? It's just about, I can stretch it out to my arm span width. Yeah. So I've got lots of yarns in there that are left over for, like, I've done friends' children's scarves out of some of these and things like that, but there's a big chunk in the middle because I didn't have many DK scraps where I bought. You can get them on Etsy. Somebody can make you a magic knot ball of DK scraps, and so I'd bought that, so there was like 100 grams in the middle just of those ones. But yeah, I'm almost at the point where I think I'll start decreasing in the corners, had run out. I've got a few more, I had run out of the DK scraps, but I found some more now that I can start adding in. Yeah, and that is, I'm doing that with a 4mm crochet hook that I had a few years ago from Flea Bubs and Lala, I want to say. And yeah, they're my favourite crochet hooks, I love those. Yeah, so it's just the corner to corner. I'm sure you've all seen those before. It's where you do, in US terms, 3 double crochets and then slip it to the chain of the one before. So the battery went. And I've charged it up a bit and now I've got the cable plugged in. So hopefully I can make it through the rest of what I've been working on before it cuts out again. And yeah, so I was just talking about this. We all know how to make a corner to corner blanket. Let me pop that away. Right, so I will start with one that you have seen before. And this is, let's pick it through. This one, I am very nearly halfway through, so when I've done the rest of this square and a triangle on the next one, I will officially be halfway through how big it's going to be. So yeah, I'm going to do it as 9 squares by 9. Yeah, I can't remember what point. I think I'd only done 2 rows by that point, so I've done another 2 more rows and on to the 5th one. And I love now it's starting to get a bit colder, that it's big enough that I just have it draped over my lap as I'm knitting on it. Yeah, so this is all the scrappy bits, and I'm sure you've seen lots of it. It's based off the Sweet Shop blanket that Laura Penrose Knits has done, although I can't guarantee what I've done is exactly the same, but yeah. I love it, and I can't wait to see it over the back of the sofa. So it's a DK weight that I am doing. So most of it is the 4-ply fingering, but I'm holding double for the contrast colours, or scraps of DK. So like this is one that was from the Giddy Yarns DK advent calendar that I had. And then I'm holding, for the main colour, it's 2 strands of the King Cole merino cone that I had, and this is all I've got left of that 500g cone. So I know that I won't finish the blanket with this. So I think there's probably, I don't know, just over 100g left of that, and so there's definitely more than 10, because there's about 10g per triangle. So there's definitely more than 10 squares I need to do, so I will need to order another one, but I'll do that when I'm down to the last bit of this one here. And I am using, I bet it's not even on there, I think it's 4.5mm needle I'm using, just so that it makes it even more like drapey and lovely. And yeah, it's just a little 12-inch, I think, is it, cable, snip back and forth. I mean, I am knitting over the ends as I go. Madness. But I'll cut the ends of those off after I've washed and blocked it. But yeah, I'm making sure that any scraps that I am using are all superwash, so that it can go in the washing machine, because I do not have space to wash and block this out flat as it is. Yeah, and then I've got all of the scraps in here. And so yeah, I'll just weigh the scrap when I've done one of the triangles and see how much is left, and if there's more than 10 grams then I'll put it back in again. Although so far I haven't done the same colour twice. But yeah, there's plenty in there to keep me going, and that's what I mean by something mindless, because it is just garter, so you're just knitting and increasing one side, and then once you get to that side you start decreasing. Yeah, so I can at least do one square each evening, if not two, depending on how easily the lads go to bed and how much they mess around. But yeah, so when I've done with the, say the bit of scrap is less than 10 grams, I'm then putting it into this bag here. So these are all less than 10 gram scraps. And I started another blanket that I had no business starting, and I've got so many on the go, but I'm doing the scrappiest linen stitch or moss stitch in crochet. Sorry about that, I had a phone call that said no caller ID, so I panicked that it was something to do with Oliver, but it's not, it was a spam one. Anyway, as I was saying, the crochet moss stitch linen stitch blanket. So any and all 4-ply yarns that are superwash are going in here, no matter how big or small. So there's some where you can see I had quite a lot. Well, obviously there were shorter rows as well, but they're getting to the point of where they're just about making a stripe all the way around. And I'm not doing the magic knot ball on this because if you remember on the granny shawl that I was doing, I just didn't like the feeling of those knots, and I was using the fabric glue, and it was just, I'm not here for it. I'm just, every now and again I'll sew in the ends, but so when I'm joining a yarn, so to finish off, no, to do the chain one stitch, because it's a single crochet, chain one, and then single crochet in the chain one space as you go in. So I'll chain it in the new colour, and then I'll knot the two colours together, and then I weave them in. So every now and again I'll just do that, so that I've not got 8 million ends to sew in at the end. But yeah, and I'm doing it where, so I'll turn round each round just so that the join will return. You can sort of see where the stripe up is. It's really good, like there where that green goes back on itself, you can see quite clearly. But that's where it's being turned round. Looks like, oh yeah, that's where I am on that one up. But yeah, again, that's super duper mindless. And I'm using 4mm, and so this is a different one that I just got off of Amazon years ago. So obviously my other 4mm one's being used for my other blanket. But yeah, so I've chosen 4mm with this one because it is a linen stitch. It can be quite dense, but this is making it, you can see it stretches out really nicely. So it should be super drapey and not too stiff. But yeah, I don't know how big I'll make that one. We'll see when I get bored with it. Yeah, so they all need to go into it. I'll say a very fancy warehouse project bag. So that is that one. And then the final knitted yarny WIP that I have going is another blanket, and this is, let's see a picture of it under here. No, not really. So last year for my, I can't remember, the cable's falling down. I can't remember if it was for my birthday or Christmas. I feel like it was for my birthday. My mum and dad bought me the kit to make the West Yorkshire Spinners colourwork Christmas blanket. And I'd cast it on and was starting to do it, but it was the first time. I've not done an awful lot of colourwork knitting. And I've definitely never done colourwork where I've needed to use 3 strands of yarn at the same time. And obviously with it being a blanket, the pattern is having you knit obviously one side and then purl back. And purling back in colourwork is an absolute nightmare. If you've got the patience to do that, I'm in awe of you, because no. But I'd started knitting it to pattern, and then obviously we moved into mother-in-law's, so I didn't take it with me because I felt like it was a lot of work. And I'd got, so you get colourwork charts. I think the pattern's free, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not going to show you the colourwork charts. But there are about 7. Are there 7? 6. There's 6. Sorry, hold on. So there's 6 patterns, and I'd got about a quarter of the way through the 3rd colourwork chart, and it just sort of got left there. But then I decided not that long ago, a couple of weeks ago, that I wasn't going to continue on it as it was, so I unravelled all of it and did some Google searches and found quite a nice description on how to do a colourwork blanket in the round and then steek it. So that's what I decided I'm going to do with this blanket, and so I recast it on, and I've started again. I messed up a bit with not getting the stitches twisted. Yeah, you see there. And I didn't realise until I'd done the rib and I was going into the colourwork that it was actually twisted, so I had to like knit up over itself, which doesn't matter because I'm just going to cut it up there anyway. That bit's like dead stitches, isn't it? But yeah, so only a couple of weeks and I'm just about to start the 3rd pattern. But this time I've also, so not only have I changed it from working flat to just working round and round, I decided, because I thought, oh yeah, people say that they just duplicate stitch things all the time, like it'll be so easy. It's not that easy, it looks a right mess. But so this is the section that you have 3 strands, and I feel like there's minimal red for how big the pattern repeats are to be messing around holding 3 yarns that I would duplicate stitch along. I've not quite done the whole row yet, and I am starting to see an improvement, but yeah, it's not the neatest. But yeah, so I'm excited to have, no, the stitches have come off. 1 second. I really should get some more needle stoppers to put at the end of here so they don't fall off again. So obviously you've got to have the cable where it's not quite, right, it's a bit too short so that you're not pulling the stitches off around again. But yeah, that's how far. And I'm hoping, because the rib bit does keep folding up. For me, I think I would have thought that the border would have had to have been a bit longer, but yeah, it keeps folding up. And I couldn't decide if I liked the Christmas trees without the red bits on, or if they looked a bit plain. Yeah. So that is that one. I think it is, so it is made using the West Yorkshire Spinners Croft Shetland wool, 100% Shetland wool. So that's the red. So the red for it is WIP. And the green is Stannydale. I don't know. I'm assuming they're names of places in the Shetlands. I'm not 100% sure. And I would have thought, sorry, whistling. And the natural colour is Sulum. Yeah, 100% Shetland wool, Aran weight. So that's 166 metres or 182 yards per 100 grams. Yeah. So the rib is done on in 4mm, and then the main colourwork is done in 5mm. Yeah. So I am enjoying it a lot more now that it's in the round and I'm not using 3 strands. It's much easier, and I've been trying to make sure, oh that's where I'm sewing in, that's a bit scruffy, but I'm trying to make sure like I'm catching the floats basically every other float, unless there's like it's 3 stitches, then I'll let that hang a bit lower, like just there. Just because I'm conscious that you are going to see the back of the blanket, because it's a blanket that's going to be out on the sofa during Christmas. I don't want loads of floats that are going to get caught or anything. So I don't know whether or not, because it doesn't say anything in the pattern, but I don't know whether or not it would be worth just sewing a backing onto it just to hide all of the floats. But yeah. Yeah, so it'll be, I'm just doing it one by one colourwork through the steeking bit. So you purl one each side, and then this one by one colourwork for the steek. So I think, because that's what it said on the purl Soho blog, so then the purl bumps, it's really easy to pick those stitches up to then knit the side borders. But I'll sew up and down either side. Hopefully I'll be allowed to borrow somebody's sewing machine to do that. Yeah, so I'll sew either side before I cut it, and then pick up the stitches along here to knit the border. But yeah, I think I'll be lucky to have that done for this Christmas, but I am enjoying it a lot more, so it should be done quicker than it was being done anyway. So that is all of the yarny ones, but also, yeah, so that blanket must have been for my birthday, because then for Christmas my mum also bought me this cross stitch set. So you get 30 patterns for doing little mini stockings, like with individual like decorations. I think 30 would be a lot for my tree, but so I'm just going to go with the ones that I like. So, but I have, it took me a while to start this as well, because part of it is you have to cut all of the Ada into the right size pieces. I don't know, it's just little things, like it's not going to take much effort, but little things like that would stop me from doing something, and I've only done that since being back. So this is the first one I have started, which is the poinsettia, and I've just got the batch stitching to do on some of them, and then you get a little template of the stocking shape and this felty stuff that will then obviously go on the back of the stocking. And so there'll be cute little ornaments on the Christmas tree. It looks so much prettier on the camera than it does in real life. But yeah, that's really nice. There's really like this fireplace one. Look how cute. I'm going to do that one I think next. That one's really cute. And obviously you've got to do Santa. With that. Here's that one. Yeah, so they're all the, I've masking taped on the edges so that they don't all fill, but they're all like the little pieces of Ada cut up and ready to go. So that is all of it. I did make a start. It's not all of it. I have been knitting my muscle bra. My muscle bra. Again, this is something I was knitting on. I took this to the cinema when I went to the cinema with my sister to watch Barbie. And so I've got quite far, but again, that's when I realised as well that I didn't have my tape measure, and so I couldn't measure it, and so I just fell out with everything, and I knew that it would turn up, so I refused to buy another one. And actually I've been close to putting them in my basket on Amazon and actually buying them and being like, no, not doing it. Because to replace the one that I had already got, it was like, not expensive, but yeah. So I haven't knit on it since then. I think the last time you saw it was here, where this stitch marker is. So I've done all of that. But I felt like I was getting close-ish to the point of where I need to start doing the decreases. So yeah, that's not been worked on in a while because I panicked. But this is what I've got left. The skein. So I know that I'm close because there's only that much left. That's not an awful lot, is it? And the colour is from Blue Fern Yarns, and it's called Speckled Egg, and it's the classic sock, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And I picked this up from a yarn shop in Fakenham. Yes, so there's that one. And then, so the whole thing with the tape measure, I then had cast on the Lace and Fade boxy that I'd bought, and I've shown you the Sisu, is it by either Phil Clarno or Sadness Gone? I can't remember. It's Sadness Gone, I think. To go with the mohair that I got from Mummy and Florrie, the really bright neon-y fluff. This is going to do the Lace and Fade, so I'd cast that on, but it does say, oh, you need to knit this section for so many centimetres. I didn't have my tape measure, and so I've only just cast that on and done like this much of it, because again, I didn't have the tape measure, so I've not done that. So it's the tiniest amount, so it's not worth showing that one. But hopefully I might be able to show you next time. Although, so tomorrow, today is Thursday the 21st of September. And tomorrow is the induction day at Bishop for me going back to university to restart my course again. So after tomorrow, I'm going to be busy most of the week, all week. So I imagine when I'm getting back in the evenings, because it is all the way, it's in Lincoln, and I live in Nottingham, so, and it's generally, I'm there 9 till 4:15, so I will be driving home in the rush hour traffic. So on a good day, it'd only take an hour to get there, but because of all the traffic, it takes at least an hour and a half. So it's 3 hours there and back driving, plus all day there. So by the time that I get back, I can't imagine anything complicated like the Lace and Fade boxy that you're going to have to concentrate on, like my stone crop. Like the Colourette blanket may not get as much done on it as like my scrappy projects that don't take a lot of brain power, will be the things I imagine I'll gravitate towards for the little amount of time that I will get. But yeah, so starting back to uni properly on Monday, which is very scary. A bit very apprehensive about it, just because it will be a big change, and I imagine I'm going to get very tired. Yeah, have I seen you since Oliver had his scan? So he had his scan results back. They all look okay, like as okay as they're going to look. I'm just waiting for his reassessment scans the end of October, start of November. But yeah, he started secondary school the beginning of September, and he's like, honestly, he is amazing everyone every single day, because talking to like the support nurse, she wasn't expecting him even to be starting school full time and to be tired out and not be able to make every day, but he's been doing it full time. He's been joining in with PE, he's been walking home from school and things like. So the very first PE session was full on football tournament that he did all of, and then walked home, so he was bright red by the time that he got back. He did a cross country run for the whole of year 7, so I think it was like 6 miles, and he came 7th out of all of the year 7s, which for ordinarily that's impressive, but never mind the fact that basically he's not been able to do anything for a year. Yeah, it might start to catch up with him, because he also went back to, he was allowed to start back at football training yesterday, because it's been 3 weeks since he had his line removed. So his line's removed, he can have a bath, he can go swimming, and he's starting to go back to exercising. And it's just, honestly, he is getting tired coming home from school, and his legs are aching because he's not used those muscles for so long. So he's having a soak in a bath, but then he feels better. So he's just a bit more tired, and his hair's growing back, and it is unbelievably soft, like baby soft hair. It's amazing. He's trying to charge people £1 to stroke his hair each stroke. But yeah, so other than the hair and him getting tired, you would have no idea whatsoever that everything that had happened this past year, which, aren't kids amazing? Like, to be an adult and be told, oh yeah, you need to keep it easy, like don't push yourself too much, because obviously you need to work it up slowly. He's just not got that in his vocabulary. He's no, I'm going back to football training, it's happening, I've had enough, like last year it was rubbish, I'm going back to it. Yeah, so that's incredible. Joe's started back at rugby, and he's now at the age group where they're starting to do actual contact rugby, so he's properly getting into it now, because it means he can take people down. He's thoroughly excited. Yes, they're doing really well. And I'd actually, because I've just seen this sat on my windowsill, Rob's auntie Catherine went, I want to say she went up to Scotland on a trip, and I don't know where she got it from, but she brought me back this mini skein of hand spun yarn. Honestly, I was so touched. Like, isn't that incredible? Like, look at the rainbow colours. It's so pretty. Yeah, so it's hand spun and it's mixed fibres, so I've got no idea what's in it, and it's approximately 20 grams. But it also doesn't say how thick it is. I mean, I would say that's between a DK and a worsted, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it is so lovely. So that's what I want to ask you. What can I do with this to make the most out of it? I had thought about doing like a colourwork hat, get a contrast colour and make it into a hat, but I don't generally wear hats. I say that as I've just shown you my Musselburgh hat. I'm a bit funny with when it comes to wearing hats. I don't think they actually suit me, and so unless it's really cold and I need a hat because it's freezing, I don't wear them. So I want it to go into something that I will definitely use. But I don't know, would it be enough? Would 20 grams be enough to just do like a pop of colourwork in a sweater? Would it be enough? I don't know. Or a cowl, although I've got lots of cowls and shawls. So I don't know. Help me. any suggestions would be brilliant. But yeah, so I need to find something to use that up for. But yeah, I think that's everything. Rob's obviously back to work now that all the scans and hospital visits and stuff are done in the meantime, and they have been brilliant with him. They've let him go back. The first 2 weeks were half days, and then he's gone back full time, and they're slowly building up his workload for him, so he's easing into it quite nicely. But yeah, so if I don't know which situation's better, his or mine, because obviously he's being eased into it really nicely, but he's also got everybody that knows the situation and are asking him how Oliver is, and he's just having to go over it over and over again, which is a bit much when you just want to get your head down and get on with it. So whereas me at uni, I'll be able to just get my head down and get on with it because no one's really going to know any of the story, but it also means that no one's really going to take it easy on me, so I'm going to be expected to just, yeah, crack on. Yes, so all of that obviously means that I'm not sure how often I will get to sit down and film like this going forward, because like I say, I will be in Lincoln Monday to Friday every week, and there's still 1 or 2 jobs that need doing on the house. Like I'm sat here in the bay window in the living room, we've still not got blinds, so I've got paper taped up on the window so people can't see me as they're walking past. But yeah, so odd jobs and getting back to normal. But it might be, yeah. I say in all of this, Rob and the lads have got season tickets for football, so they'll be going to that just about every other week, so I can always sit down and film whilst they're not here. So it's a lot to expect everyone to be quiet and to get out of the living room whilst I'm filming, isn't it? Every week. We'll see. I'll try as often as I can, but then also there may be less for me to talk about with each one. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's been lovely to catch up with all of you. Let me know how you've all been. Did you get up to anything exciting over the summer? That's okay. Also, because I'd said that I was going to podcast, didn't I? But we went down to Devon for my friend's wedding. It was an absolutely beautiful day. We had such a wonderful time on holiday down there. It was so nice because so we'd stopped off in Bath on the way down. We love the city, it's so beautiful. So we like stopped for the day there, but then carried on a bit further to stay in Taunton, just in a Premier Inn overnight, just to break up the travelling all the way down to Devon. And then we stayed in Westwood Ho, which isn't far because the wedding was like in Appledore. It was beautiful seaside, so obviously my school friends and all of their families and stuff were around, so it was very full on. Like there was lots planned all the days, and seeing everyone and meeting up, going to the beach, and then the wedding. Yeah, it was so nice. And the lads, because obviously everyone's got kids, so it was nice that there was other kids to keep them all entertained each other. So that was really lovely. And then we went and we did camping at the top of Dartmoor, in a really tiny little campsite, which is really sweet. And they've got this resident goose that lives on the lake, but over the winter its mate was killed by a fox, and so it was going, like, walking past the cars on the campsite and seeing a reflection of itself, thinking it's another goose, and like just falling in love with itself, but really sad because it's lost its partner. But yes, that was a really nice cute little campsite. And then we stayed in Dumbleton Hall on the way back. Don't know if you'll know where that is. I've never even heard of it. I just wanted to stay there because it sounded like Dumbledore. But that was really lovely. It was a nice, very fancy hotel. That was lovely. So we had a really nice family holiday. It was nice. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, but yeah, just being able to enjoy each other's company and not have so many worries going on all the time. But yeah, so let me know what you've done in the summer. Yeah, Anything exciting? Any more plans going forward? Are we all excited for Christmas? Like, honestly, I am so excited for Christmas. Like, yeah, I enjoy fall, but I see fall as the signal as, well, Christmas is coming up then. So we'll be decorating the house on the 1st of December and being able to see all the Christmas lights and go, like, I need to find a Christmas market we can go to, because obviously they fall on Saturdays and every other Saturday's taken up by football, so limited to which Saturdays we can actually go to one that's nearby. And Lincoln aren't doing one this year. We really like Lincoln one, so we can't go to that one. The Bakewell one is one when football's on, so we can't go to there. So if you know of any nice Christmas markets and the dates of them, that would also be greatly appreciated. I'm asking an awful lot of you this week, aren't I? But yeah. Yes, so thank you for listening to me ramble on. Hope that everybody's okay, and hopefully it won't be quite so long till I see you next time. Take care. Goodbye.